Sometimes we just want out, to be anywhere in the world except for where we are in that moment. I wish I could say that I'm unfamiliar with such an experience, or that I've lived an uneventful life, a boring one at that. However, to say so would be a lie, and I've been given the precious opportunity to unbury such memories. It was a cloudy summer afternoon. No, wait, maybe it was sunny. It was one of those lazy, reclusive days where the light of your monitor was the only light that had touched your skin for days. You know the drill. I was sitting on my floor, enjoying this precious solitude. However, nothing good is meant to last, and my goodness ended with the deep, rumbling grumbling of some ravenous animal. What the? Oh, that's my stomach. I forgot. People need food to live. It was time to end my exile and venture out of my cave. Lumbering over to my door, I gripped the brass knob and began to... Voices. Croaky, cracking voices. Voices that certainly didn't belong to anyone in my family. I released the knob with a clammy hand and pressed my ear against the door. Through the rumble, I managed to pick out the voice of my older brother. The grating voices must have been the other boys in his Boy Scout troop, stopping by our house to relax after a day of Boy Scouting. Suddenly, that relief turned to anger. Why hadn't he told me he was bringing company over? I could have cleaned, maybe showered. Oh, God. I looked down at the pajamas I'd been wearing for days now. They were wrinkled and stained with an angry-looking hole in my shirt that I had never noticed before. Half of my hair was up in a ponytail while the rest was tangled and sticking to the back of my neck. I didn't even want to think about how I must have smelled. There was no way I could go down there. But the hunger was only getting worse. After realizing that I was trapped up in my room, my inside seemed to throw a temper tantrum, wailing in pain and frustration. I had never been hungrier. I had to get downstairs. But the only way to get to the kitchen was to go down the stairs and through the living room, where all of the boys were. But I don't have a choice. Unless the window that opens out onto the roof. If I could walk over the intruders, I could slip off the roof, sneak through the kitchen door, grab something, get back on the roof, crawl back in the window, and enjoy my spoils. Easy peasy! With my heart racing, I slipped over to the window and undid the latches. So far, so good. I turned around to close it. Nah, it'll be easier just to leave it open. Climbing over the roof was easy. It was getting off the roof that was difficult. Looking around, I noticed my dad's small tool shed that was propped up against the house. I waddled over to it, cautiously placed one foot onto it and then the other, and then I was able to scurry down onto the porch. I was so close to victory I could almost taste it. Quietly, I eased open the kitchen door. Nobody was in my line of sight, which meant the coast was clear. In one fluid movement, I swept through the cabinet, nabbed the goods, and darted back out the door. I got a little excited upon my exit. I accidentally let the cabinet door slam a little, which startled me into slamming the kitchen door, which caused me to freak out while climbing back onto the tool shed, which caused me to slip and fall back onto the porch. I froze, waiting for someone to come in and look for the source of all the noise, but nobody seemed to notice. I was more cautious on my second attempt. I put the bag in my mouth so I could use both hands, and I took my time in scaling the shed. Soon I found myself back on the roof, and I was almost home free. I crawled back around to where my window was, where my sanctuary was, and Oh, no, you've got to be kidding! Finding it curious that a strange new door had opened to the outside world, my cat had decided to wander out onto the roof. The fat cat. The cat with balance issues. Naturally, I scrambled over to her, trying to herd her back inside with my feet and a few words of encouragement. Stop, please. Come on, get back inside. You've got to go. Come on. Oh, you're going to fall. Finally, after all the yelling and waving of processed snack foods, she lurched back inside. I stood back and let out an exasperated sigh. It was a lot of work, but I had done it. All I had to do now was go through the window. But something stopped me. I don't know what it was that made me hesitate. Perhaps it was just a feeling, a deep gut feeling. Maybe it was a slight change in the breeze. Maybe it was God. But whatever it was strong enough to stop me in my tracks and make me turn around. 7 Boy Scouts. 7 Boy Scouts under the roof. 7 Boy Scouts standing below me. 7 Boy Scouts with their mouths agape. And 8 people in all who had no idea what to say. Throughout all of the shock and embarrassment that was racing through my mind in that moment, one part of me remained rational. Life is full of paths. Sometimes, no matter what, we've chosen the wrong one. That doesn't mean we failed. The only true failures are our failures to take chances, and we've got to reap the seeds we sow. I simply nodded to them, and I went back in through my window.